Mercedes Mone, formerly the WWE Sasha Banks, has returned to wrestling, debuting in this week's AEW Dynamite. I want to go through a full timeline of events, when we knew where she would be going, and why, because here on the Tom Colohue channel it's the only place we've been 100%. We start on April 23rd, 2023. This is before Mercedes would pick up the injury that would cost her almost a year of her career. At this point, Mercedes Mone had just lost the IWGP Women's Championship, and I was reporting that her time in Japan was wrapping up. At the same time, I was talking about the bidding war, because there was a bidding war ongoing. The WWE was still interested, and have been interested, in a return for what they refer to as Sasha Banks, for the entire time since she walked out. One of the reasons John Laurinaitis was fired was because of the way he had handled the situation with Mercedes Mone and Naomi after they left the company. The WWE was always interested. Stephanie McMahon had reached out. Triple H had reached out non-stop. But WWE were not to win that battle. AEW was in pole position at that time, with an invite laid out that Mercedes Mone could appear in the crowd at Forbidden Door, thus further alluding to the possibility of Mercedes Mone signing a deal with AEW. The contract that was on offer would have been very appealing and would have included more time in Japan, but also while making the quote-unquote big bucks in AEW. The money on offer was substantial, but the reports that we've seen for months now about Mercedes wanting top-level money is simply nonsense. The report about AEW paying her $10 million plus a year, absolute garbage. By this point, I must have said it about 1,000 times. It's never been about the money for Mercedes Mone. She's looking to build the Mercedes brand. Not the Sasha Banks brand, that's all WWE. She wants to build the Mercedes brand in a way that will help her businesses grow, and you can see that in the way that she's enacting copyrights so far in AEW. Next, we may or may not have attended the Louvre together in May in Paris, but that's probably just a coincidence. Honestly, her picture was probably better. We go to August, AEW All In at Wembley, which I attended. I reported on Twitter in the hours before that Mercedes Mone was in London and would be attending the show in Wembley. She, of course, did appear in the crowd. This was to finalise details of the contract that was on offer, but because Mercedes Mone hadn't been cleared, she wasn't willing to sign on the dotted line just yet. I was able to report that a meeting did take place that finalised the details of what Mercedes was looking for, including working in Japan, and as she's referred to it, the revolution can be global. That's what she's looking for. That's why AEW got it over the line. Her reference in that promo on Dynamite was not an attack on the WWE. It was a clear message to the WWE. This is why I didn't sign with you. Also, of course, the main reason was her name. On October 8th, on this very brand, WTF Wrestling, we reported why Mercedes Mone was not interested in returning to the WWE. It is a full and in-depth breakdown of a whole load of clickbait, dirt sheet nonsense that has always focused around Mercedes Mone and has almost always been entirely incorrect. Most of the news at that point in time was that Mercedes Mone was essentially trying to play her cards and trying to get as much money out of people as possible, which is absolutely not true. There were many reasons that while the WWE were desperately interested in bringing Mercedes back to where they considered home, she wasn't interested in making it happen. And I can lay a lot of these out for you. A lot of it was as regards the news cycle. She wasn't happy with the reporting about her. She actually apparently did still hold a bit of a grudge with the whole Fox thing and hiring Ryan Satin after what he'd reported about her. She wasn't particularly happy with that, which is why she never appeared on his Out of Character show. There was also the Sasha Banks versus Mercedes Mone debate. The WWE had invested a lot of time and effort into the building of a character, Sasha Banks. They did not want to bring her back as Mercedes Mone, a different name and potentially a different character. They also did not want to allow what she was asking for, time in different promotions while actively being paid what WWE were offering. That's something AEW were willing to offer. There's also beyond that, but still kind of in the Mercedes brand umbrella, there is advertising for the different companies she works for, works with, and owns, including a CBD company, which the WWE is said to have simply had no interest in ever promoting, whereas AEW are more open-minded about it. There was a number of different reasons there, but that's what I reported on October 8th to detail why the WWE were going to lose this battle, despite fighting fiercely for the win. The WWE shortly afterwards would make a bid, offer a new contract to Mercedes Mone, which I reported on during Spoiler Warning. On January 5th, 2024, I had to go full rumour killer mode. At this point, there were reports out there that Mercedes had signed back with WWE, that Mercedes had signed with AEW, that Mercedes had done this, that, and the other. None of this at the time had happened. Mercedes hadn't met with AEW as of yet in 2024 to make it official. The WWE, just before the turn of the year, having found out that she hadn't signed anything because she wasn't cleared, did make one last bid. Nick Khan, to my knowledge, as I reported at the time, was not willing to allow use of the Mercedes Mone name, so the contract offer was rejected. The amount of money did not matter. This is also in general a period of great confusion for Mercedes Mone fans, because you had Dave Meltzer, Sean Sapp, you had so many people saying different things, and it was difficult to really get through to what was actually 100% happening. A lot of information I was sharing here in the months beforehand started popping up behind paywalls from other journalists. Nice of them to confirm my reporting, I'll say that. And it did mean that the picture started to become clearer, but I did feel the need to jump in, rumour kill, and just explain what was actually happening. We try and make sure on this channel that you get the facts without the hyperbole, without the clickbait. That's what I'm doing with this video. Just explaining to you, this is exactly what happened. Leave a like if you support the style. Finally, on February 1st, I reported exclusively that Mercedes Mone had signed her deal with AEW and that she would be debuting shortly. Tony Khan was planning to roll out the red carpet and give her her own platform in order to display. That is what happened at AEW Dynamite. It's only now that you're seeing reports, for example, behind the Fightful paywall, stating that Mercedes Mone has been signed for a couple of months. At the time, I was the only one to actually report that it had happened. 2 weeks ago on WTF Wrestling, I reported on the impact that Mercedes Mone could have not only in AEW but on the global stage. I detailed what her contract and career trajectory was going to look like and what we would see over the next few years. I also very clearly stated that Mercedes Mone was interested in one day returning to the WWE, but they'd have to allow her to work under the Mercedes Mone name. A couple of days later, that came out in podcasts and, in fact, in interview with Mercedes herself. Mercedes Mone will never be too far away from the WWE, even while in AEW. She's looking to build a platform for the Mercedes brand that will convince the whole world to take notice and to pay attention. And the WWE, at that point, might well come running. I don't doubt for a second that Triple H is eager to get it over the line and is likely more than happy to use whatever name she chooses to go by, but Nick Khan, as the business side of that, will have been unhappy making that arrangement. There is no doubt in my mind that Mercedes Mone will eventually return to the WWE. There's also no doubt in my mind that if you want to hear about it first and hear the facts, this is a place that you should come to. Comment below with what you think of Mercedes' debut and check out more WTF Wrestling by clicking the video on screen right now. Thank you, and I'll see you for the next one.